Did. You're getting a Kodak call.
I know.
Is that the general? Or the colonel?
Raiden, are you receiving? We're still here.
How's that possible? The AI was destroyed.
Only GW.
Who are you?
To begin with, we're not what you'd call human. Over the past 200 years, a kind of consciousness formed layer by layer in the crucible of the White House. It's not unlike the way life started in the oceans 4 billion years ago. The White House was our primordial soup, a base of evolution. We are formless. We are the very discipline and morality that Americans invoke so often. How can anyone hope to eliminate us? As long as this nation
I hope they're talking about like the
exists,
Patriots
so
and
will
not like some
Cut the
congealed
crap.
something
If you're immortal,
in
why
Abraham
would you
Lincoln's
take away
bedroom.
individual freedoms and censor the net.
Jack, don't be silly.
Don't you know that our plans have your interests, not ours, in mind?
What?
Jack, listen carefully, like a good boy.
The mapping of the human genome was completed early this century. As a result, the evolutionary log of the human race lay open to us.
We started with genetic engineering, and in the end, we succeeded in digitizing life itself.
But there are things not covered by genetic
Please.
information.
What do you mean?
Human memories, ideas, culture, history.
Remember when I said that
Genes
the
don't
sons of the
contain
Patriots
any
could be
record of
George
human
Washington,
Is it something that should not be
Jefferson,
passed on?
all of them lived
Should
on
that
for the past
information
200
be left
years?
at the mercy of nature?
I think I was
always
pretty
kept
close.
records of our lives, through words, pictures, symbols, from tablets to books.
But not all the information was inherited by later generations. A small percentage of the whole was selected and processed, then passed on. Not unlike genes, really.
That's what history is, Jack.
But in the current digitized world, trivial information is accumulating every second, preserved in all its triteness. Never
Facebook.
fading, always accessible.
Twitter.
Rumors about
MySpace.
petty issues,
Riley's
misinterpretation,
personal webpage.
slander.
All this junk data, preserved in an unfiltered state, growing at an alarming rate.
It will only slow down social progress, reduce the rate of evolution.
Right? You seem to think that our plan is one of censorship.
Are you telling me it's not?
You're being silly. What we propose to do is not to control content,
watch recorded
but
videos.
to create context.
It's true AI
Create
killer.
context.
The digital society furthers human flaws and selectively rewards development of convenient half-truths. Just look at the strange juxtapositions of morality around you.
Billions spent on new weapons in order to humanely murder other humans.
Rights of criminals are given more respect than the privacy of their victims.
So are these even the Patriots?
Although there are people
Or are these
suffering
just, like,
in poverty,
crazy
huge
mind
donations
people
are made
talking to
to
Raiden?
protect endangered species. Everyone grows up being told the same thing.
Be nice to other people.
But beat out the competition.
You're special. Believe in yourself and you will succeed.
But it's obvious from the start that only a few can succeed.
You exercise your right to freedom, and this is the result. All rhetoric to avoid conflict and protect each other from hurt. The untested truths,
I like the
spun by
chittering in
different
the
interests,
background.
continue to churn and accumulate in the sandbox of political correctness and value systems.
Everyone
waiting for
withdraws
Ryan to
into their own
scream.
small gated community, afraid of a larger forum. They stay inside their little ponds, leaking whatever truth suits them into the growing cesspool of society at large.
The different cardinal truths neither clash nor mesh. No one is invalidated, but nobody is right.
Not even natural selection can take place here. The world is being engulfed in truth.
And this is the way the world ends. Not with a bang, but a whimper.
We're trying to stop that from happening.
It's
some,
our
who was it,
responsibility
Elliot? I forget.
as rulers. Just
Elliot?
as in
Yeah, I'm wrong.
genetics, unnecessary information and memory must be filtered out to stimulate the evolution of the species.
And you think you're qualified to decide what's necessary and
Well,
not?
You are Skynet.
Absolutely. Who else could wade through the sea of garbage?
Jordy, I don't
and
think
produce,
these are AI.
retrieve valuable
This is
truths,
something more.
And even interpret their meaning.
Something
for
I've never
later
seen in a
generations.
story ever my entire
That's what
life.
it
It's
means to
Skynet!
create context.
I'll decide for myself what to believe and what to pass on.
That was TSLA, cool.
But is that even your own idea?
Or something Snake told you.
That's the proof of your incompetence right there. You lack the qualifications to exercise free will.
That's not true. I have the right.
Does something like a self exist inside of you?
Just hang up.
What you call self serves as nothing more than a mask.
Can we
to
even
cover
hang
your
up?
own being.
They're talking to us through
In
magically
this era
brain
of
nano
ready-made
machine.
truths, self is just something used to preserve those positive emotions that you occasionally feel.
Another possibility is that self is a concept you conveniently borrowed under the logic that would endow you with some sense of strength.
That's crap.
Is it? Would you prefer that someone else tell you? All right.
This is like arguing with
Explain it
Dagwood.
to
Like
me.
we talk about
Jack,
like
you're
sex in
simply
video
the
games.
best,
Eventually, it
and
turns
you
into
got
fucking
there
this.
all
He's
by
just breaking me down
yourself.
at the logical self level. Where I can't even argue anymore. I'm just questioning my
Do feel
own
lost.
sense of self.
Why not
Fuck
try
you,
a bit
Dag.
of soul searching?
Don't
I do
think
that
you'll
to
find
him.
anything, though.
Ironic that although self is something that you yourself fashion, every time something goes wrong, you turn around and place the blame on something else.
It's not my fault. It's not your fault.
In denial, you simply resort to looking for another, more convenient truth in order to make yourself feel better.
Leaving behind in an instant the so-called truth you once embraced.
Should someone like that be able to decide what is truth?
Should someone like you even have the right to decide?
You've done nothing but abuse your freedom.
You don't deserve to be free.
We're not the ones smothering the world. You are.
The individual
Your
is supposed to be
Facebook
weak,
posts,
but far
your
from
tweets.
powerless. A single person has the potential to ruin the world.
And the age of digitized communication
This
has
makes it
given
even more
even
confusing.
power to the
Because if
individual.
Rose is an AI,
Too much power
how did
for
Ryden
an
get her
immature
pregnant?
species.
I don't know.
Building a legacy involves figuring out what is
I
wanted
know, it is
and
Colonel
what
Campbell.
needs to be done for that goal.
I keep saying the
All
general.
this
I
you
apologize.
used to struggle with. Now we think for you.
We are your guardians, after all.
You want to control human thought? Human behavior?
Of course. Anything can be quantified nowadays. That's what this exercise was designed to prove.
You fell in love with me just as you were meant to, after all. Isn't that right, Jack?
Ocelot was not told the whole truth, to say the least.
We rule an entire nation. Of what interest would a single soldier, no matter how able, be to us?
The S3 plan does not stand for solid snake simulation. What it does stand for is selection for societal sanity. The S3 is a system for controlling human will and consciousness.
Why the
S3 is not you, a
The game
soldier
over
trained
screen?
in the image of Solid Snake. It is a method, a protocol that created a circumstance that made you what you are.
So you see, we're the S3, not you.
I
What
miss
you
the
experienced
Liquid was the
was
bad
the
guy.
final test of its effectiveness.
I miss Liquid as the bad
crazy.
guy.
You heard what President Johnson said.
The Arsenal's GW system is the key to their supremacy.
The objective
wrong
of
with
this
his face?
exercise
You noticed it before?
was to establish such a method.
You noticed it before? No.
We used Shadow Moses as a paradigm for the exercise.
I wonder if you would have preferred a fantasy setting.
We chose that backdrop because of its extreme circumstances. It was an optimal test for S3's crisis management capacity. If the model could trigger, control, and solve this, it would be ready for any contingency. And now, we have our proof.
Oh god, energy surge. Don't let it be true.
Raiden, there are also reasons behind your selection. Solidus raised plenty of other child soldiers. Do you know why we chose you over them? It was because you were the only one who refused to acknowledge the past. All the others remember what they were and pay for it daily.
But you turn your back on everything you don't like. You do whatever you like, see only the things you like, and for yourself alone.
Yes, Rose can attest to that.
Oh.
You refused to see me for what I was. I lied to you, but I wanted to be caught. You pretended to be understanding, to be a gentleman. You never made a conscious attempt to reach out to me. The only time you did was when I gave you no choice but to do so.
I was just trying not to.
What? Trying not to hurt me? Dear, the one you were trying not to hurt was yourself. Avoiding the truth under the guise of kindness is all that you did. It occurred to you to do nothing but look out for yourself. Even if you claim that it was for my sake, that feeling was nowhere to be seen. In the end, everything was for your sake. I was never part of the picture.
Exactly right. So you see, you're a perfect representative of the masses we need to protect. This is why we chose you. You accepted the fiction we've provided, obeyed our orders, and did everything you were told to. The exercise is a resounding success.
We should
Didn't
really
I
just
tell
hang
you
up
that
on
GW
him.
is still incomplete?
And oh, that
Not
face.
anymore, thanks to you.
Your persona, experiences, triumphs, and defeats are nothing but byproducts. The real objective was ensuring that we could generate and manipulate them. It's taken a lot of time and money, but it was well worth it considering the results. I think that's enough talk. It's time for the final exercise. Raiden, take Solidus down.
Think again. I'm through doing what I'm
Unless
told.
that's what we really wanted you to do.
Aren't you forgetting something?
If you die, my child dies.
The termination of vital signals from your nanomachines means the death of Olga's child. Not to mention the death of Rose. She's wired the same way.
Rose, does she actually exist?
Of course I do, Jack. You have to believe.
Damn!
She says line believe.
To the death.
Solidus at least wants you dead.
We will collect the necessary data from this last fight. Then we'll consider the exercise closed. So, Jack the Ripper, will it be Solidus, the Patriot's creation, or you, Solidus's creation? Our
Couldn't we just,
beloved
like,
monsters.
not die and just leave
Enjoy
Solidus alone and
yourselves.
say, like, hey, let's just go our own ways?
Jack,